Hi, I hope everyone's doing well in their home, but there's a little confusion here. You're supposed to be at home, but some of you are here in the sanctuary. Someone came in, I must have commented to someone how strange it is to preach in an empty room. And we arrived today to record, and there may be 50 posters like this that are taped to the chair. And this is Benita, and this is Dee and her dog, and there's lots of other people. So, thank you. Thank you very much. That is funny and ingenious, but Benita and Dee, they're gonna have to sit on the chair over here. Welcome to another Sunday service in these strange times. From the Ute Indians of North America. Earth, teach me stillness as the grasses are stilled with light. Earth, teach me suffering as old stones suffer with memory. Earth, teach me caring as parents who secure their young. Earth, teach me courage as the tree which stands all alone. Earth, teach me limitation as the ant which crawls on the ground. Earth, teach me freedom as the eagle which soars in the sky. Earth, teach me resignation as the leaves die in the fall. Earth, teach me regeneration as the seed which rises in the spring. And earth, teach me to forget myself as melted snow forgets its life. Earth, teach me to remember kindness as dry fields weep with rain.
Good morning, everybody. It's a wonderful day. I miss you all. I particularly miss my choir members. We're going to do some singing this morning. As you probably heard or from Don, we're celebrating Earth Day today, and so we're going to sing hymn number 38, Morning Has Broken. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dewfall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where his feet passed. Mine is the sunlight
Principles to live by, our seventh one. We, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sting in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, moving the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Now is the time for our joys and sorrows. And I'd like to say to everyone, this is not an easy time. So please feel free to call me or the pastoral care team. I'd like to drop one stone for all the joys and sorrows, and I'll be right back. Sharon Bennett is celebrating her birthday on April 15th, so it's already gone by. And she says, please tell everyone that I miss them all. This from Marcia Frank. My joy is that I've learned how to do Zoom, FaceTime, and Messenger video. It's wonderful to be able to see and talk with everyone. My sorrow is that we have to see each other using Zoom, FaceTime, and Messenger video. And last from Alan George. The joy, happy to see our church service every Sunday and see my church family with Zoom. Sorrow, still sheltering in place. I'd like to close and drop a stone in our hearts for all the healthcare workers out there who are literally risking their lives. And I saw on television an interview a nurse who flew to New York from Arizona to help New York out as a registered nurse. This is amazing. And unfortunately, the healthcare workers are dying also. So I'd like to just take a moment of silence for all these folks who give so much to us. And then the last stone in our hearts is we could all use a little mercy now. We really can. Whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed. We will now take the collection online. And remember, the link to link into will be on your screen. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Please join me in a moment of meditation and silence. The reading this morning is, I'll warn you, is long. Is Chief Seattle's letter dated 1852. The president in Washington sends word that he wishes to buy our land. But how can you buy or sell the sky, the land? The idea is strange to us. If we do not own the freshness of the air and the sparkle of the water, how can you buy them? Every part of this earth is sacred to my people. Every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every meadow, every humming insect. All are holy in the memory and experience of my people. We know the sap which courses through the trees as we know the blood that courses through our veins. We are part of the earth and it is part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters, the bear, the deer, the great eagle. These are our brothers. The rocky crest, the juices in the meadow, the body heat of the pony and people all belong to the same family. The shining water that moves in the streams and rivers is not just water, but the blood of our ancestors. If we sell you our land, you must remember that it is sacred. Each ghostly reflection in the clear waters of the lakes tells of events and memories in the life of my people. The water's murmur is the voice of my father's father, my mother's mother. The rivers are our brothers and sisters. They quench our thirst. They carry our canoes and feed our children. So you must give to the rivers the kindness that you would give any brother or sister. If we sell you our land, remember that the air is precious to us, that the air shares its spirit with all the life it supports. The wind that gave our grandfather his first breath also received his last sigh. The wind also gives our children the spirit of life. So if we sell you our land, you must keep it apart and sacred as a place where people can go to taste the wind that is sweetened by the meadow flowers. Will you teach your children what we have taught our children? That the earth is our mother? What befalls the earth befalls all the sons and daughters of the earth? This we know. The earth does not belong to us. We belong to the earth. All things are connected, like the blood that unites us all. We did not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. One thing we know, our God is also your God. The earth is precious to God, and to harm the earth is to heap contempt on its creator. Your destiny is a mystery to us. What will happen when the buffalo are all slaughtered, the wild horses tamed? What will happen when the secret corners of the forest are heavy with the scent of many people, and the view of the ripe hills is blotted by talking wires? Where will the thicket be? Gone. Where will the eagle be? Gone. And what is it to say goodbye to the swift pony and the hunt, the end of living and the beginning of survival? When the last red people have vanished with their wilderness and their memory is only the shadow of a cloud moving across the prairie, will these shores and forests still be here? Will there be any of the spirit of my people left? We love this earth as a newborn loves its mother's heartbeat. So if we sell you our land, love it as we have loved it. Care for it as we have cared for it. Hold in your mind the memory of the land as it is when you receive it. preserve the land for all children and love it, as God loves us all. As we are a part of the land, you too are part of the land. This earth is precious to us. It is also precious to you. One thing we know, there is only one God. No people, be they red or white, can be apart. We are brothers and sisters, after all. Wednesday will be the 50th Earth Day. The 50th. I remember the first Earth Day, and I was still living with my parents. The British scientist James Lovelock, believing that life on other planets in our solar system could be detected by its impact on atmospheric chemistry, turned his studies to Earth. He found that in geochemical terms, the Earth's atmosphere is so unlikely that some type of regulatory process is mandatory, that there are forces which create and uphold life. Lovelock named his hypothesis Gaia, after the Greek goddess of the earth, Gaia. Sorry for the mispronunciation. He proposes that the earth is a living entity, that life shapes and controls the environment rather than the opposite. All this came about in the 1970s in the aftermath of the first Earth Day. His hypothesis remains controversial in scientific circles. Nonetheless, scientists are still testing the Gaia hypothesis. They are focusing on the interaction between living systems in the atmosphere, earth, and oceans. Only time will prove whether or not the Gaia hypothesis is a valid scientific theory. But whatever the outcome, this concept of the earth as a living being is a much-needed philosophy for our time, the very essence of respect for our planet. The Gaia Peace Atlas, edited by Dr. Frank Barnaby, provides the definition of Gaia. The science of Gaia is new, exploring the planet-wide homeostatic processes in which we share. But the concept is old, a rediscovery of what all earlier peoples have known. We are, in Lovelock's words, part and partners in a very democratic entity. Formed of the fabric of Gaia, living amid the web of interdependent species and traces of past lives, we cannot conquer nature without defeating ourselves. Recognition of this truth is fundamental to our survival. As Dr. Barnaby just said, the concept is old, a rediscovery of what earlier peoples have known. Chief Seattle's letter, which we heard in our meditation, is an eloquent expression of this ancient wisdom. Yet, the destruction of our natural environment is proceeding at an alarming rate. There are 4 myths to be aware of. Myth 1, chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, are the cause of global warming. Simple carbon dioxide contributes more towards global warming than do exotic gases, such as CFC. The average American automobile pumps its own weight in carbon dioxide into the air each year. Our highway transportation alone accounts for 27% of the world's fossil fuel released carbon dioxide. We light a candle in our hearts for the healing of the sky. Myth 2, toxic waste comes from industrial pollution. Workers in yellow rubber suits at Superfund sites like Love Canal make great news pictures, but home cleaning products spread more toxics. Public awareness of the germ theory of disease combined with decades of advertising led to germ phobia. The big business of household cleaners has translated into a widespread and unmonitored source of toxic waste. We light a candle in our hearts for the healing of the ground. Myth number 3, water pollution comes from the discharge of industrial waste. Since the cleanup efforts that occurred decades ago, less than 10% of water pollutants come directly from industry. Non-point sources, such as oil that drips from automobiles and chemicals that get washed off lawns and fields, account for more than 65% of water pollution. We light a candle in our hearts for the healing of the waters. Myth number 4, non-biodegradable products are clogging our landfills. Plastic is actually safer than many biodegradable products in a sealed landfill. The garbage crisis is not caused by what people throw away. It's caused by how much people throw away. 5 pounds a day and rising. The answer is simple and inexpensive. Buy less. We light a candle in our hearts that we postmodern people renew in our souls the ancient wisdom that the earth is truly our mother. Perhaps the bottom line in understanding the devastation caused by the present rate of environmental depletion is that every year between 10 and 35,000 species become extinct, mainly due to human pollution. It does not require scientific genius to understand that if this rate of destruction is not stopped, it's only a matter of time until the human race is added to the list. 13 years ago, a prominent scientist at Stanford University told Matthew Fox, I'd like to introduce you a little bit to Matthew Fox. He was adjunct faculty at Stark King when I was there. Matthew Fox is now an American Episcopal priest and theologian. He was formerly a Dominican friar in the Roman Catholic Church. His most popular book is Original Blessing. I think that was his first book, but if you're looking for a book to really, if you're looking for a book that really gets at what liberal Christianity is about, this is your book. Anyway, he had opened a Creation Spirituality Center in Oakland, California. And then he hired Starhawk, the most prominent witch in America. And while Jan and I, my ex-wife, were in Berkeley, the Vatican came to Berkeley and excommunicated Matthew Fox and threw him out of the Catholic Church. I also took classes with Starhawk. There's nothing to be afraid of. Anyway, I could go on about this and Matthew Fox, but what the scientists told Fox is this: we are the first species that can choose not to go extinct. We're the first species that can choose not to go extinct. But the path we are on now is very definitely a path to extinction. There's really no question about it. Consequently, Fox believes that sustainability is a 21st century word for justice, because what is just holds, what is just endures. What is unjust falls apart and does not hold. What is sustainable is what holds, what endures. This is the biblical teaching. The Jews believed that the universe sat on two pillars, justice and righteousness. And one can say that righteousness is simply internalized justice. If justice was compromised, the whole earth was out of kilter. It was not sustainable. So the Psalms say that if the poor and orphan and widow are not treated well, the whole earth is out of kilter. It is not sustainable. No society is sustainable when injustice reigns. How is it possible that we as a species would choose to go extinct? Maybe we don't like life. Maybe we're too cynical. Maybe it's our greed. Maybe it's ignorance in the same sense of ignoring what is obvious, which in the Eastern religious traditions, this is lifted up very well. But the sense of ignoring what is obvious, that we are part of a whole, that everything is connected one to the other, and that we ignore this reality at our peril. Maybe it's all these things combined together. Whatever the combination of factors, this is our spiritual situation at the dawning of the 21st century. As Unitarian Universalists, we know there's more we can do. And I'd like to lift up a few things that's going on in our denomination. The Green Sanctuary Program. Our congregations demonstrate their commitment to environmental justice by aligning their values with their actions through becoming certified green sanctuaries. For 19 years, the Green Sanctuary Program has helped more than 230 UU congregations live out this commitment through spiritual connection, education, sustainable living, social justice. Ethical eating. We recognize the moral consequences. Lunch came. We recognize the moral consequences of our food choices and pay attention to the impact of our involvement in the food system. Starting in 2011, Unitarian Universalists across the country committed to engage in eating as an ethical issue. Our own Abigail Drescher preached on this topic only 4 months ago. Divestment and socially responsible investment. In 2014, Unitarian Universalists became one of the first religious groups to commit our financial investments to environmental justice. We have called on our denomination, our congregations, and our individual memories to engage with how investments can be socially responsible using available resources. Those are some of the things currently going on. We are truly people of Gaia. The metaphor rings true. Earth is our home, the primordial mother of us all. We must find it in our hearts to restore the heart of our, we must find it in our hearts to restore the health of our planet. And in doing so, we shall restore our own well-being, both physical and spiritual. This is a win-win proposition, to choose life and not extinction. May it soon be, in our lifetime, exactly what we choose to do as a species.
Our closing hymn is going to be hymn number 207, Earth Was Given as a Garden. It sounds like Blue Boat Home, but it's not. This is the original melody, and so you should be able to easily sing along. Here it is, first and third verse only.
Our closing words are from the American poet, Denise Lavertoff. It's entitled Beginners. But we have only begun to love the earth. We have only begun to imagine the fullness of life. How could we tire of hope? So much is in bud. How can desire fail? We have only begun to imagine justice and mercy, only begun to envision how it might be to live as siblings with beast and flower, not as oppressors. Surely our river cannot already be hastening into the sea of non-being. Surely it cannot drag in the silt all that is innocent. Not yet, not yet. There is too much broken that must be mended, too much hurt that we have done to each other that cannot yet be forgiven. We have only begun to know the power that is in us if we would join our solitudes in the communion of the struggle. So much is unfolding that must complete its gesture. So much is in bud.